how you can have the best laid plans and thinking everything will be fine and go according to plan, and then it just completely goes off the rails and doesn't happen that way at all. Well, that's pretty much what happened today. It was like a multitude of things that happened that all came together to just make it a pretty cruddy day overall. Just for a little bit of an explanation, I used to drag race quite a bit as just a hobby, go on the weekends, stuff like that. It was something that I really enjoy doing, but that was like a long time ago, like 10 years ago, or even longer than that, like probably 15, 20 years ago. And I hadn't been to the drag strip in probably like 10 years, and not to the quarter mile. So I hadn't done any serious runs with my current Sonic Blue Terminator or my previous Torch Red one. And I really wanted to see what it would do. I really wanted to go more for trap speed, more so than a good ET. The ET power was nothing I was really concerned about. I just wanted a good mile per hour run to really gauge where my horsepower was at. And things didn't quite go the way I wanted them to go. I did a total of 4 runs, and only one was a complete run where nothing went wrong. As far as what went wrong with the other runs, and I'll put in all 4 so you guys can see them. I'm not trying to like hide or cover anything up. I really thought it was more me more than anything else that I was just screwing up. I was going into 3rd gear and it was just hitting this wall, and the shifter was basically coming back at me. And I thought maybe I'm hitting between the fork between 3rd and 5th. Maybe it was bouncing back at me, but it just didn't feel right. I mean, like I said before, I'm like not a professional, but I know how to drive at the strip. I've done it, numerous times over the years. And even though I was really rusty today, it just didn't seem right. It seemed like it was more than that. So I came home, started doing some digging as far as the T56 goes with the Cobras, and I came across an article on SVTP. I'll throw up a screenshot of it right here, where someone had the exact same issue that I did, where you go into 3rd, bounces off, and it's just an issue with the T56, high RPM, and I don't know what the exact cause is. There was multiple suggestions on how to fix it, but I really haven't found a good good course of action to take as far as what I'm going to do as far as resolving that. The other thing that went wrong today is after doing the 4 runs, I have some kind of really weird noise coming out of the back of the car. It only happens on deceleration. I can't hear it accelerating, but as soon as I'm off the gas, making this really weird noise. I'll throw up a couple of clips of that as well. But I'll get to the runs in order of how they happened. First run, I was really, really nervous. It had been so long since I had run. I blew that run. Run number 2 was the only clean run, and 3 and 4 were both the shifter bounced back at me in 3rd. So I'll show you guys those, and I'll talk more about the rest of the day. So as far as the one good clean run that I had where I was able to get her into third and do a complete run, wasn't the best time overall. 60 foot was a 2.0. Quarter mile time was a 12:1 at 123. Now, what this car makes for power, it should be anywhere from the mid 120s to 130s. I believe it's a 10-second car, but I'd actually have to drive it to that. I was really hoping to get into the 11s today, but with only one clean runner at 12.14, it just wasn't going to happen. And I'll show you guys the slip. I was in the right-hand lane, if you want to pause that or take a better look at it. And as far as that noise in the back, I've done zero looking into what it can be. It's not engine, it's not transmission. If, like, worst case scenario, it's rear end something, but I'm not positive. I really need to look the car over a little bit, make a determination on if it's something obvious that I can see or if it's something internal. Maybe it's drive shaft related or rear end gear related. I'm not really sure at this point, but it's something I need to look into more. But as far as the short term, I'm really doing nothing with it. The car is basically done for the year. I wanted to run it this weekend because it was really good weather to go to the drag strip and do this. And, you know, it's pretty much almost November, so the car is pretty much done for the year, so I'm not really looking to do anything else with it. As far as a transmission issue, I have like a few options. I can just say screw it, who cares? It's not a good drag race car, not really what I built it for. But I would really like to get a nice clean run with the car at some point. I would love to have a 10-second slip with it. So it leaves me with options as far as what do I do. The T56 as it sits now is just not a great transmission. A lot of people have issues with them in a drag racing type application. So I could either A, build that T56, or I could look at getting a T56 Magnum, which is not cheap, but neither is building a T56. Could auto swap it, just do the easy button and just auto swap it, because drag racing and stick shifting is a totally different animal. On the street, that car drives fine. I shift it fine. It's, you know, no issues with it. But at the strip is a totally different animal as far as the setting, the driving aspect of it, totally different. So, you know, kind of, I don't know if I want to dump the kind of money into it for a T56 Magnum. I wouldn't auto swap it. It is the easy thing to do as far as good times at the drag strip, but I like that car being a manual. So I don't know at this point. It all depends on finances and how things look and how much I really want to get into the car. It also depends on what's actually wrong with it. You know, if it's nothing too serious, then it's not a big deal. But if there's something more mortally wounded with it, we'll say, then, you know, it will cost more money to take care of it, but I'm really not sure what it is at this point. Other than the misshifts, the car ran great. I drove home just fine other than the noise I was hearing, but, you know, that's pretty much it. Kind of a disappointing day overall. Highlight was I was spotted in one of the Facebook groups for 2003 Sonic Blue Cobras. I'll throw that screenshot up. One of the guys from SVTP who I text with him every once in a while, he sent me this screenshot I'm showing you now. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that group existed. So I joined the group and everyone was tagging me. And I'm like, yeah, it's me. I was coming back from the drag strip and, you know, kind of told a little bit about what happened. But, you know, kind of cool getting spotted just on a random drive, because I, you know, usually don't, just, you know, not on Facebook pages and stuff like that. So it was kind of the highlight of the day, even though everything else was kind of a disappointment as far as my expectations and what actually happened. I may take another run at this next year, and, you know, once I get everything sorted out and figure out what I'm really going to do with it. But as for now, things are just going to stay as they are, and I'll move forward with the plans that I have for the car for next year, getting the cats put on, getting it retuned, getting some Torco in there for a Torco tune, seeing what it will do with a 2.3 Whipple. And that's kind of where it sits for now. And if you did make it this far in the video, make sure to leave it a like. Let me know any of your horror drag racing stories that you might have. I'd like to know that I'm not the only one that has had some things come up that was unexpected. The sub button is down below if you're new here, but above all else, thanks for watching.